God, I pray about push and record. I pray about praying. I pray about posting this video. I pray about how long it's been since I've done anything YouTube related, and pray about maybe putting this video out, one last video before 2024 ends. Amen. And today I just kind of wanted to talk about where I've been at. Not just recently, but basically like the past year or so. And so I have this whole entire basically book written out that I wrote freaking like a month or two ago. And I just haven't gotten around to just like saying any of this or talking about any of it, just because I've just been scared about it. I feel like it's pointless because I never make videos anymore. There's a lot of reasons, but I don't know. I just felt kind of like maybe not necessarily an obligation, but I just kind of wanted, I guess, just to share my story and what I've been going through in the hopes that maybe it could help someone else. And then also, it's just, YouTube's just kind of always just been a dream of mine, and I almost just feel like I was meant to do it. I mean, why would I have had the success that I've had in the past if God didn't intend for something to happen around YouTube? I don't know, I'm just kind of speaking out loud, but let me start here. I've always struggled with depression and a lot of mental health issues, and so the past couple of years, I believe that because I've been living kind of like just so carelessly, like job hopping and moving around so much, etc., being all over the place, haven't really ever had any sort of real direction or like a 5-year plan or goals or anything like that. I've always just kind of lived nomadically, obviously. Still live in my car, by the way. And I've never actually been like, okay, this is who I want to become. This is what I want to achieve. And I think because of that, I've always felt pretty down. I think it's important to have goals and whatnot. I wrote down here, finding your why and finding your purpose. I mean, that's got to be like one of the most important things that you can possibly do with your life, is finding your why and finding your purpose. And in a lot of ways, I just don't feel like I've found that personally. I think I've been trying so hard to live life just kind of the way I want to, bruh. You know what I mean? And giving no consideration to maybe how God had intended me to live my life. Which is a major reason why in the past year or two I've become a lot closer to God. Growing up, I always had kind of this back and forth relationship with God, but I didn't really start taking him seriously until about 2 or 3 years ago. Reading the Bible every morning and actually trying to develop a relationship with him. And my life has completely changed as a result of that, and I couldn't be more happy about it. I needed God. I just felt so lost. Still do in a lot of ways, but it's easier to deal with since I have a relationship with God. One of my favorite Bible verses that I wrote down here is Proverbs 16:9. It says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord ultimately directs his footsteps." And I've just been trying to keep that in mind, because obviously, like I said, I've been trying to do things my own way for so long, and I'm just trying to figure out what God would have me do, Sorry for looking at my phone a lot, but other than that, I've just been trying to work on myself. Another reason I haven't been posting much is because I realized that I just feel like a lot of my following loved me for reasons I find boring now and that I kind of hate about myself. Like, for instance, it's not unique or special anymore to make videos about living in your car, or videos about how much money I made working gig economy. You know, those types of jobs kind of suck now and are oversaturated, and literally everybody is doing these types of videos now. You know, I enjoy being different than everybody else, you know. Being different's ultimately what I feel like helped put me on the map in the first place on YouTube. You know, I started car life and gig jobs before it was even cool or normal, you know what I mean? And I think that's why a lot of people tuned into the channel, because it was different, you know what I mean? But it's just not anymore. Everybody does it. You know, and it's been tough trying to transition kind of away from that. It's part of the reason why I stopped making videos, you know, like, it'd be nice to be able to just make videos about, you know, basketball or video games or skateboarding or running or my past with my drug addiction, Japanese culture, streaming, you know, tried that this year. These are all things that, like, I'm actually into, you know, but regardless, you know, it's always going to be inevitable that I continue to, you know, kind of talk about living in my car and whatnot, because I still do it. It's just a part of my life, you know. But that said, you know, I'm just kind of used to it at this point. I don't really even think about it. You know, I sleep and wake up in my car. It's kind of just like, so what? You know what I mean? Nothing I do during the day or my life really has anything to do with car life. I just so happen to sleep and wake up, you know. Only thing I'd say about that is it's definitely still annoying at times. It can be time consuming, finding a bathroom, you know, food, having to get takeout a lot. I mean, not really that. Food's pretty easy. You just go to Whole Foods or somewhere to get some healthy food. But, you know, just having to drive everywhere, the wear and tear, you feel me? Like, that's still annoying. But the thing I think I love the most about still living in my car for, what, like 5 years, half a decade now, is that I still have that thought in the back of my head that's like, you kind of have freedom to go wherever you want. You don't have an obligation to an actual home or place where you're living, you know. But I wrote down here, but do I really? Am I really free? Do I really have freedom? Because the remote work lately, all these remote jobs and entrepreneurial things, I guess you could say, that I've been trying to make work, you know, have been sucking lately. And, you know, I'm not doing a good job with YouTube and all these other things. And so, you know, even with Rover, stopped doing that, stopped taking care of the dogs, you know, that was too competitive, and I stopped getting bookings. And by the way, with that, you know, I was staying in those mansions and being able to stay in homes and stuff. Ultimately, with that, long story short, I found that staying in those mansions the whole time, I was just thinking about, man, I really wish I was outside in my car in a parking lot or something like that. Like, I had no desire to be in those homes, and so I kind of stopped with that too. I just love being in my car. But you know, with that said, you know, I've been having to get real jobs, like you know, 9 to 5s. And that destroys my heart. That destroys my soul. I don't feel like I'm supposed to be doing that. I'm not better than anybody else, though. That's not what I'm trying to say here. You know, I've worked a lot of shitty jobs. I'm 32 years old. You know what I mean? I've been working since I was like 17 years old. Tons of shitty jobs. Like, I've learned that lesson. You know what I mean? You know, I never even told the channel this, but like, I worked at a second juice land. You know, I worked at that first juice land, the most popular one in Austin, Texas, first one ever made, and I worked there for a really long time, and y'all know that I quit that job finally, but like a month later, I ran out of money and I had to get another job, and so I actually started working at a different juice land, and I worked there for a long time. Never told anyone that. You know, and then same thing kind of happened, ended up quitting that, and, you know, more recently I got a job at freaking HEB, which is, you know, the Texas grocery store, and That's been absolutely miserable. It just feels like mind-numbing work. Go stock these carrots. Go make this shelf look good. Go help in bakery. Go help in deli. And it's just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. I'm losing my mind. I feel like I was designed for other things. More power to you if that's what you want to do. You know, HEB is a good company to work for. I love the people I work with. It's just the job itself. It's like, damn, here I am stocking carrots when I could be making a video teaching people how to stay sober and saving lives. But no, I'm here stuck putting carrots on a freaking shelf. And ultimately, that's my fault. I take responsibility for that. Sorry, I got a little off track there. Basically, with these 9-to-5 jobs and everything, though, it's harder for me to go anywhere now. So technically, I don't have that freedom that I was talking about earlier. And plus, you know, Austin's great. I'm not even sure if I'd want to leave. But, you know, even if I could leave, you know, traveling and adventuring and all that costs money. It's not cheap. It's expensive to just, you know, drive around carelessly and go here for a little while, go there. It's like, you know, I wish I was in New York City right now. If anywhere in the United States, I'd be out there. Out of the country, you know, the past month or two, I have been wanting to go to Japan. I mean, I've wanted to go there my whole life, but more recently I've been studying Japanese. I can already read hiragana. I'm learning katakana right now and studying the culture, and I just feel so stuck, like, financially and whatnot, you know what I mean? But I'm going to pivot. I'm going to pivot right now to something a little bit more serious and kind of unrelated/related, and it's just that I had someone in my life pass away. It just feels like a lot of people in my life recently have just been passing away. First it was my, you know, the friend that told me to start YouTube in the first place like a year ago, and now it's, you know, I won't say his name, but the person who originally basically got me to start living in my car passed away. It was the last person that I ever lived with as far as a house goes, and that was in Florida when I first started my YouTube and car life journey. The guy passed away, and you know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And you know, honestly, if I'm being real here, me and him didn't get along very well. That's the whole reason why I started living out of my car. But ultimately, he was a good person, and he took care of me when I was early in my sobriety. And I owe him a lot. But he was in recovery as well. It's part of the reason why I decided to try and stay with him for a while. And just like car life, being sober just feels like second nature to me too. I don't even really think about it, you know. I don't drink, I don't smoke ganja, I don't shoot up crystal meth anymore, you know. And not thinking about recovery and being sober, I feel like is kind of, it can kind of be a bad thing. Like, I'm happy I'm at a point in my life where, you know, it's not really a concern all that much anymore, and that I don't think about it. But another part of me is like, well, Jake, you still need to be careful. And, you know, like I was talking about earlier, it's like there are so many people out in the world right now struggling. And, you know, I've been blessed to have lived, you know, through 8 years of drug addiction and be alive right now and be well and, you know, be halfway mentally stable, you know, and I just feel like I'm not giving back, you know, or as much as I could be, which I certainly feel an obligation to do so. But that said, I thought I'd give a couple of reasons as to why or how I've been taking care of myself lately in that regard. And first and foremost, it is 100% God. We could stop right there. I know a lot of people struggle with this, and even in recovery, I'm an AA type of guy, and, reading through that and step 3 and step 4, it's just like give yourself over to a higher power. And I know a lot of people struggled with that and whatnot, but I choose to believe that Jesus Christ died for us, and so our sins could be forgiven. And I just see so much proof in that. And, I've seen proof in my own life of that. And I just wanted to share that with everybody. Selfishly, I want everybody to believe what I believe in, but I certainly know that that's not always going to be the case. But I can, without a doubt, say to everyone in the world right now that I've benefited from believing in God. Secondly, I would say, this sounds stupid, but I actually started to moisturize. Look, I'm not getting all girly on y'all, okay? Look, and that's okay if that's how you do in life or whatnot. I just basically what I'm trying to say is I started taking better care of myself, staying more consistent with running, working out or calisthenics, whatever that looks like, eating better, cold showers. I mean, you take care of your temple, your mental is gonna be way better off, is what I'm trying to say. That's second. Third is, I'm still struggling with this, honestly, but loneliness and finding community. Overall, I'm kind of at that age, 32, where I kind of just could care less about it. I'm an introvert as it is, and I'm perfectly fine with being by myself, especially since building this relationship with God. It's like that's really all I need, and prefer, But I really don't ever feel alone anymore. It's not really something I struggle with, at least spiritually. But even God says that we need community. So wherever you can find that. Recently, for me, it's been making new relationships at this job that I hate at HEB. I've met a lot of people on the basketball court since, that was one of the things that I got into recently. And, even things online, I used to like playing a lot of Valorant online, and I would just talk to people on there. Skateboarding, Reddit, I mean, you name it. Just try and find some sort of community. And then last but basically the reason why I decided to film this whole entire video is I have been writing and journaling all year long. I have filled up, I've talked about this a little bit, but I've filled up probably 3 or 4 of these journals this year. And it's the best, I just feel like it's one of the best things I could have done for myself. It's pretty easy the way I do it. It's not like at the end of the day I just journal my day, because that would take way too long. What I do is, if I do something important or get something done, immediately after that I write down, okay, I got this done. And by the end of the day, I have an entire page of things that I got done, or things that, this or that, or my thoughts, or maybe I just wanted to write for a second, like a journal or something. But I've really enjoyed that. But, it's a great way to reflect and work through your past, plan for your future, and get out all your thoughts presently, is by writing. Which brings us kind of to a new idea I had maybe moving forward. No promises, because I hate making promises and not keeping them. But basically, I've been documenting my life through a camera the past 6 or 7 years. But more so recently, it's been writing. And so, even if I were to just talk to y'all about a day or a page in my journal, that would essentially it would be a video. It's the same thing. Just one, I'm not recording, I'm writing. I've technically been, this whole year, I've been vlogging. It's just been on paper and not in front of an audience. And so I figure, I could maybe just start sharing my journal, and maybe this channel maybe kind of turn into more of like a podcast than what I've done in the past. And of course, you know, I still love filming, and I would still add clips in there, kind of like a vlog, but more so than anything, I think it might just be more of like a talky podcast type of thing. And I just feel like that would make my life a lot easier and help me stay more consistent. You know what I mean? I think it just helped me to stop overthinking so much about my videos, and ultimately give me more time to be able to think about how I can help other people. Because ultimately that's been my goal my whole entire life, is to figure out a way to help as many people as I possibly can before I die. But that's kind of where I'm at, just kind of like a little update of some of the highlights that I've been through lately, and I hope you took something away from this. If not, maybe just to relate on some sort of level and know you're not alone in all these struggles. Yeah, thanks for listening. Jesus loves you. I hope everyone has a good 2025 moving forward.